Hi guys. Hi Brendan. Hi Dasha. There might be a little delay because as I'm watching it now, it seems like I just took a block, which happened like 30 seconds ago. So my reaction to your appearance or comments, if I do see them, might be a little bit delayed. Hi Lianочка. Hi guys. We're gonna start in just a minute. A little tight in the morning. Mornings are interesting in practicing. I can't even touch my toes. That's how tight my lower back, my hamstrings are. So we'll have fun opening all that up, getting ready for the weekend. Доброе утро, доброе утро. Everybody ready? We're gonna go ahead and get started at 6:30. Everybody who comes in a little later, feel free to rewind, join us later. I know that the video is gonna be hanging there for a little. But we're gonna do it in real time. All right, for the practice today, we're gonna need a block or a couple, especially if you feel a little tighter like myself this morning. I don't know if we're gonna have time for the strap. You can have like a bathrobe, belt, or however you wanna call that thing, instead of a strap, or any kind of really hook like this. The practice is going to be lasting for 45 minutes, so nice, short and sweet. We're gonna get active right away. If there is no block available, a book will suffice. This is just to make some things a little more inhabitable. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start on our backs today. So stretch out, lay down, and if I remove the mic, I might even be able to do it with you. And I'll just need to make sure this doesn't get on the way. So lay down and then hug the knees gently towards your chest. Lengthen your lower back to the mat and really feel the opening through the spine. Relax the shoulders down onto the mat and get a hold of your right foot with your right hand. Once, again, the strap may be very helpful here. If the hand doesn't get to the foot, the strap in this position may help a lot. So as you grab your right foot with your right hand, get a hold of your left ankle with your left hand. Bring the toes of the left foot to the ground, and as you pull the right thigh towards the floor next to you, see if you can release the left knee towards the ground, maybe just a little at first. Being very gentle early in the morning, especially with the hips. Up all these areas around the pelvis. And then we switch. Get the outside of your left foot with your left hand. Grab your right ankle with your right hand. And then as you pull your left thigh towards the floor next to your rib cage, lower your right knee towards the earth. You will feel this nice stretch in the bottom, so to speak, quadriceps, and getting into the iliopsoas system, those deep on the bottom leg. Couple more here. Just starting to open up and connecting with your body, experiencing the sensations, and then hug the knees towards your chest. Let's get a regular happy baby for a moment. Get the outsides of your feet. Once again, a strap over your feet might be helpful. Or in here, you can get a hold of your ankles, your calves, your thighs, whatever you can hold on to. Rock from side to side, widening the space around your SI joint and the lower back, creating a little bit more freedom for the lower back as you press your tail down to the mat here. And then release. Let's get a block. And squeeze it between your thighs. Those of you who practiced with me often back in the day know that this is one of my favorite. We usually stand here. Now we graduated to laying down with a block, right? So as you squeeze the block between your thighs now, lower this construction towards the earth, slowly with control, so you feel the firing of the lower belly right beneath your belly button. Tap your heels to the ground. If the heels to the ground are not really something that you would love to do this early in the morning, toes to the ground might be just a little softer. Inhale, come back up. Couple more like this. Exhale as you lower. And then take it back up. See if you can press your lower back to the ground so you're not overdoing your lower back as you're trying to get to your core. Keep the breath moving. Just a couple more, starting to feel warm. I hope you guys join. Again, let's continue. We were here, and I hope you were not keeping up with it. If you have, please reach out. I want to know what you do for your core, so you were able to do this for the 10 minutes that I've been trying to fix the video. But from this position, when we really ignited the core and the lower belly strength, remove the block and place it underneath your sacrum. Stack your knees right above the ankles. And for a moment here, feel the nice release and lengthening, but not disengagement of the muscles in your belly, in your core, in your lower abdominals. Just a couple of breaths here. And then from here, let's release. Come up. Yay! Привет, Леночка. Так рада тебя видеть. As you come up, come to the forefront of your mat. Find a nice stance. Spread your toes wide and then activate all this musculature that you got mindfully engaged right now on the floor. On the next inhale, reach your arms overhead. And on the exhale, sink your hips low into chair pose. Our time just got a little bit shortened, so we'll be catching up just a little bit, but not without the breath. As you sink the hips low, pull the core in and really think about engaging this lower belly strength that I just worked on. And then come high onto the tippy toes in this chair pose. Reach your arms back to stack your heels above your toes. I know this instruction seems impossible because it is. It's not about actually getting there. It's about the intention and the muscular strength that you develop while you're working it. One more breath in. And an exhale here. Release the heels to the ground. Inhale, reach your arms up, straighten your legs. Exhale, cactus arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades in your back. And then reach your chest up. Very gentle back bend here. Inhale, reach both arms back up. Exhale, fold forward with a straight back. Compress into your thighs, bend your knees as much as you need to here. On your inhale, lengthen forward halfway. Exhale, plant your hands and step your left foot to the back of the mat. Bring your knee to the ground. Untuck your back toes. Inhale, reach the chest forward. And as you exhale, tuck the chin to your chest, press your forehead to the knee. In here, think about pulling the core in so that you try to create a hollow space between your abdomen and your front thigh. Once again, this may not be physiologically possible, but really working through the abdominals, transverse abdominis especially here, and then getting into the stretch in the front of the back left leg so you feel this solar system on the left side. Take a breath. Exhale. Now tuck your back toes under, straighten your back knee, pull the core in. If the blocks are handy or the books, Walk back and then straighten your front leg to the best of your ability. Lengthen over your right thigh rather than collapsing over it. The core is still pulled in. Breathe in. Exhale. Rebend your front knee, step the blocks away. And now integrate the inner thighs here. Squeeze them towards one another. Root down through your front foot. Stack the back heel over your toes. Hug the core in tight. Inhale, rise up. High crescent lunge. Seems like we're still going. Take a breath in. With exhale, cactus arms. We just got acquainted with this. And then reach your chest up while we're in crescent, taking this gentle back bend. Inhale, reach both arms up. Now exhale, cactus arms, and tap gently the floor with the back knee. Inhale, come up. One more like this. Exhale, really powerful back leg. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release your hands to the ground and step your right foot back for a plank position. Stack your shoulders above the wrists. Stack your heels above the toes so the legs are integrated here. Imagine that you're squeezing that block between your thighs. That's how much engagement comes for your inner thighs in this pose. Take a breath. And with exhale, push the hips high for your downward facing dog, the first one today. So make whatever you want out of it. Bend your knees, wiggle your hips, shake your head, but gently. And breathe, most importantly. Another inhale here. Another exhale here. And then look forward and travel to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold back on your exhale. You're at the front of the mat. I'm gonna move here so that I'm facing you. Inhale, rise up to standing stretch. Exhale, chair pose. Maybe hands come to the heart center, especially if the shoulders feel a little tighter this morning. Pull the core in, breathe. Now rise high into the tips of your toes. Work to stack the heels above them. Pull the core in and feel how the inner thighs, the hip flexors, the hamstrings get real engagement here. Take a breath. Exhale. Reach your arms back. Interlace all 10 fingers in the small of your bed. Straighten your knees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Draw the arms to the floor in front of you as much as I would go. You can bend your elbows and squeeze the heels of your hands together. Take a breath in. And then exhale. Release your hands to the mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your right foot back. Bring the knee to the ground. Untuck your toes. Full lungs. Inhale. Exhale. Hug the chin towards your chest. Reach your forehead towards your front knee. Suck the belly in. And then let the hips sink low. It's so uncomfortable to be in this position. But see if you can breathe evenly, quite shallowly, because the lungs are quite compressed in here. But really training your nervous system to stay calm in this really challenging physical discomfort. One more inhale. And one more exhale. This one is really good, stimulating all the digestive organs and the thyroid gland. Release, lengthen. Feel joy from being long again. And then tuck your back toes under, straighten your back knee. If the blocks are handy, place them underneath your hands. Shift the weight back. Flex your left foot towards your face. Lengthen over your front left thigh. Breathe into the positions. And then rebend your front knee. Once again, integrate the inner thighs. Stack your front knee above the ankle. Stack your back heel over your toes. Suck the core in and inhale, rise up. High crescent. Breathe. We're gonna stay here for a little. So really find your power through the legs. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. Lengthen from the lumbar spine by gently, very gently, ever so slightly, tucking the tailbone down. Lunge low into your left leg so the left thigh becomes parallel to the floor. Reach up with your arms, but relax your shoulders away from the ears. Take a breath. Exhale, cactus arms. Reach your chest up. Squeeze the shoulder blades on your back. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, cactus arms with the back knee lightly tapping the floor behind you. Inhale, come up. Exhale, tap the floor. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, planch your hands to the mat. Step your left foot back. And now plank as a resting pose. Breathe. I hope you're laughing at the quirky humor that I have. It's challenging without the feedback. Keep the breath moving still in plank pose. Take another inhale. And with exhale, shift the weight into the tips of your toes. Bend your elbows back so you feel this push up in the triceps of your arms. Release all the way to the ground. Step your hands off the mat. Cup your palms like Spider-Man's hands. And inhale, lift up with your chest. Peeling your torso off the ground inch by inch. Notice your legs are really engaged here once again. Imagine that the block is still between your thighs. Dig your pinkies into the mat here, lengthening your lumbar spine. Slide the shoulders on your back as if you're doing those cactus arms. One more breath in. And exhale, release. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under. Inhale into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And then exhale, look forward and travel to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold back in. Rise up to standing. Inhale, breath, reach up. Exhale, fold back forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen forward halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back. Plank pose. Shift the weight to the tips of your toes. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, try upward facing dog. Lift your thighs off the ground and stack the shoulders right above the wrist as you lift the chest and push your heart forward. Take a breath. Exhale. Inhale, full lungs. Exhale completely and walk your hands all the way towards your feet. Get a hold of your big toes with your peace sign, fingers and thumbs. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Inhale, lengthen forward. And with exhale, pull your torso down. Straighten your legs as much as you would like them to be here to feel the intensity in the backs of your legs. The hamstrings getting nice elongation. See if you can relax the shoulders away from the ears, sliding them up to the hips in this one. Elbows are bent sideways as you pull your toes as if you're trying to peel them off the mat. Breathe. And then exhale. Release your toes. Inhale halfway. Exhale, bow. On your next inhale, sit low, reach high. Wide-legged chair pose. Keep the breath moving, deep in 3. And if I'm right, you're right at the back of your mat right now in this position. Inhale your lungs. With the exhale, reach your arms all the way towards the front as you sink the hips low so your thighs become parallel to the ground and you once again feel nice engagement through the lower belly, through the core. Breathe into it. The legs feel like they're still squeezing the block so the inner thigh flexors are really activated. Take another inhale. Exhale, fold over your legs. I promise this will come to an end and will stretch really nicely. But for now, take your hands to the ground. Bend your knees here. And then walk your feet to the sides of the mat. Pivot your toes out. Bring your heels in. And bring your sit low for Navasana Yogi Squat. In the forefront, it looks like this. So you can really push your arms into your thighs, lengthening rather than rounding through your back, and opening up the hips. Breathe. Take your left hand to the ground outside of your left foot. Reach your right arm all the way up to the ceiling. Keep the hips level. Don't let your right one to pop up. Really let yourself sit low in the hips here. And then release. Take your right hand outside of your right leg and then reach your left arm up. And then release. Bring both hands to the ground, lift your hips back up, but now walk your feet a little bit wider. Bend your knees, pivot your toes out so they're in the same direction as your kneecaps. Stack your knees above the ankles. Take your hands to your hips and then come up into a goddess squat. Keep the hips low so the thighs remain parallel to the ground. And then once again, we're taking this to cactus arms. Breathe into it. On the exhale, swing your right arm underneath your left for eagle arms. Lift your right heel off the mat. Release the heel, release the arms, arms up. Exhale, left arm under. Lift your left heel off the mat, you guessed it, right? Just a breath, you can do it for one breath. Release the left heel down, inhale, reach both arms up. Cactus arms, both heels come off the mat. Breathe into it. Make sure you're really smiling here because you don't have to talk. And then release. Fold forward, pivot your toes in, heels out. Inhale, lengthen forward halfway. Exhale, bow back. Get a hold of your heels from the outsides with your hands. Maybe you reach for your calves or ankles here. Inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, fold. To release, come out. Pivot to face the front of your mat, wherever it is. Step your left foot to meet your right at the front. Inhale halfway. Exhale, bow back. Rise up to standing next inhale. And exhale, take your hands to the heart center. Next one is going to be the pinnacle posture of our today's practice. Have your block or book handy. We're going to go into a position that is preparing us for an arm balance, but please don't worry about it. It's going to be nice and simple. I didn't say easy at first. And it's going to get into all of these areas that we've been so wanting to open up and strengthen and lengthen today. So take a block, place it on your mat, and then step your feet onto the block or the book. Place your hands mat width distance apart, a little wider than your shoulders. And then widen your legs as if you're doing that Malasana Yogi squat that we just did a couple of minutes ago. Hug your shoulders, your upper arms with that excuse me, construction of your legs. And then shift the weight forward as if you're trying to take your feet off the block. Feel this whole engagement that's going on in your lower belly, in the hip flexors. And with exhale, tilt back up, tilt back. Tilt that back. Inhale, go for it. And with exhale, go back. Really mentally intend to take your feet off the block so you really fire those areas of the body. Pelvic floor lifts up as if you're almost doing Kegels here. Couple more like this. If you're feisty enough this morning, maybe start lifting your toes off the block here. And now on your next one, lift your left
foot off the block. Keep your right toes in there for safety and balance. And then bring your left heel as close as you can towards your left glute. And then release. One more like this with the other leg, with the other foot. Lift your right toes off the block. And then take that heel as close as you can towards your right glute. And then you release. Come out of the block. Whew. And come to the front of your mat. Inhale, lengthen forward halfway. Exhale, bow. Rise up to standing next. Inhale, breath, reach up. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back. Plank pose, good old plank. And with exhale, as slow as you can, as fast as you need to, lower onto the floor. In here, Sphinx pose, which is gonna feel delicious after all that stuff we did with the block right now. Stack your shoulders above the elbows. Relax the whole lower body, the legs, the glutes. And then lift your chest as if you're trying to peel your torso off the ground here. If this is not enough sensation, you can always start straightening your elbows and come into a seal pose. Please enjoy this for a few more breaths. I'm going to go check. It seems like it's working. Yay! All right. From here, release back onto the floor. Plant your palms beneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under into plank. And with exhale, lift the hips high. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Sigh it out. Let it go. Bring your knees to the ground. Take your favorite block, which became favorite throughout this 40 minutes. Squeeze it between your thighs. Take your hands to your lower back. Find the mic. Squeeze the elbows on your back. Reach your chest up, getting a little more opening through the front. And the heart thriving all the way up to the skies. Should feel really exuberant here if you're not overdoing it, but really just enjoying the stretch to the front line that you engage so nicely throughout the class and opening the heart. Another breath in here. Another exhale here. Slowly come out of it. Release the block. And what the block did in this pose is really kept our pelvis and hips in place and enabled us not to get into the lower back, which is already flexible, but to really open up through the thoracic spine, through the mid-thoracic, and really get the shoulders action going to get the heart opener. Let's continue. Come onto your all fours. And let's go through a few cats and cows here. On the inhale, press the belly down, spread the shoulders wide. On the exhale, round your back. Pull the core. Gaze up at your navel. Yes, that long of a breath. Inhale, linking the breath and the movement. Exhale. Really training that mindfulness muscle. Embodying your mind. On your next inhale, come to your neutral spine. Take a block and place it underneath your Let's do right knee at first. Notice how misaligned your hips started to feel right away. See that your back toes and the right foot are untucked. So we challenge the balance here a little bit. And now reach your left leg back. Notice how all this musculature here in your lower belly, around your pelvis and the hip flexors have to engage in order to maintain this balance, in order to realign the hips, which is the goal of today's practice. And then reach your right arm forward here. Find your balance. It's a very tricky thing to do, so please be okay with being wobbly at first, especially. Sometimes balance is not my forte. Some days I'm a rock star, some days I'm falling all over the place. Breathe, gaze at one spot in front of you. Take another inhale. And with exhale, see if you can bring that left knee to the right elbow. Woo. Inhale, extend. Just one more here. Very slowly, very deliberately, with a lot of control. Really realigning the whole apparatus around your pelvis, pelvic floor, hip flexors. And then release. Second side. Just having some fun this morning. Take the left knee, place it on a block. Stretch your right leg back. Find your balance. Notice how much interesting alignment your pelvis has to do right now. Align your back heel, the right heel with the right hip. And then extend your left arm forward. Catch yourself a couple of times with those left toes. Find your balance. And then once you did that, exhale, knee to the elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to the elbow. Ooh, this is the tough side. We all got one, right? And then release. Beautiful work. Let's set the block aside. Come to your knees. Shift the weight onto one side and extend your legs to the front. Right now, let's do a simple sit pose. Take your right shin and make it parallel to the front of your mat. I'm going to be facing you, but you're still at the front of your mat. Take the left shin and bring it in front of your right shin so that it's also parallel. Both sit bones are rooted into the earth. And then gently rock from side to side, feeling nice release in the lumbar spine around the SI, lower back. And then lower down. The block may be underneath your elbows. You may be all the way up to the floor. You may know this pose as a fire log pose, and you can stack the upper shin on top of the lower shin. If you know this posture and you know how to safely do it, by no means, please go for it. Just make sure there is no bad sensations in the knees. When we try to open the tight hips, the knees love to come to the rescue and compensate. Please remember you have only one set of them for your lifetime. Take care of them. To take care of the knees, flex your feet towards your shins so you keep this ankle joint at 90 degrees. This will engage the musculature in the lower leg to keep your knee stable. As you breathe here, feel the nice opening through the outer thighs, getting deep into the hip opening. And then come up. Let's switch the sides. We're starting to unwind here. So really soften your eye gaze, if not close your eyes completely. Just reducing the stimulation from the outside. And allow this few more minutes to really just soften and breathe. The work is done. Now is when yoga begins. Focus your attention on your breath. Deep, thorough inhales. Complete exhales until the very last drop of air gets out of your lungs. And then as you continue this long, deep breathing, just start softening the skin on your face, the jaw, the space between your eyebrows. Very slowly come out of the pose and extend your legs to the front of the mat. Bend your knees, get a hold of your shins, and then slowly lay down. I will avoid doing that for the purposes of keeping my mic alive. But as you stretch on your mat right now, allow the heels to be in, toes to flare out. Tuck the shoulders under, really spread your chest nice and wide. Elongate the neck, reach the crown of the head to the back of your mat. Allow the arms to rest heavily by your sides. Flip your palms open if you're ready to receive. And if you feel a little bit volatile, place your palms onto the mat. Really hold on to the earth, feeling like it supports you. I'm gonna leave you here. Please enjoy your Shavasana for as long as your day, your morning allows you. Thank you so much for joining me today through the technical difficulties, through the weirdness of this online broadcasting. Yoga is a very personal thing. It's meant to be in contact. I hope you enjoyed the practice, and I really hope to see you guys soon. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'm always happy to talk yoga, neuroscience yoga, physiologic yoga, all other things that yoga is good for. Namaste.